Oh guys, what is up? Sorry, I'm being a little quiet. It's late at night here. I finally finished my FL4K build. I have been playing FL4K a lot on and off stream, running into the takedown and dying, running into the takedown and dying, and trying different builds every different time until I finally came up with something that I am happy with, and I am happy to share with you guys because it meets my standards of a good build. This build I have consistently run the Maliwan takedown on M4, no issues there, consistently beaten Slaughter Shaft on Mayhem 4. I'm really excited to share this with you guys. It is called ReFl4Ktion. Basically, it's a kind of spin using similar mechanics to the Ricochet Witch build, which is a really powerful build. If you haven't seen it, this FL4K build is awesome, and I'm really proud of it, and ready to share it with you guys. So enjoy the video. Let's cue the montage.
Demons dwell, my own little nightmare, I call it hell. Oh well, it's time to get back.
Yes!
Climbing and climbing.
Fuck yeah, dude! Hell yeah, guys. I am really happy to share this with you guys. Really proud of this build. I purposely avoided playing FL4K on stream for a while just because I didn't want people telling me what's good and what to use and what's not to use. Because I wanted to figure out for myself, and I've avoided using or watching YouTube videos because I wanted to figure out what's happening here with myself, because it's part of the fun of the game for me. So this is the best that I've found. Let me quickly break down the core mechanics of this build. We are using a recursion with lifesteal on it. Now this build is slightly gear dependent. The anointment that you're going to be looking out for on all of your guns is the lifesteal anointment. Like I said, I've died so many times running the FL4K the takedown, and getting a lifesteal anointment on a recursion was the actual sauce. It made FL4K be able to tank the entire takedown. I could do Slaughter Shaft no problem. This thing is an absolute beast. I have it on the Maggie lifesteal as well, but that is not the core of the build. This build still has a lot of survivability without the lifesteal. I apologize that this build is gear dependent, but it's Mayhem 4. It's a Maliwan takedown FL4K build. I think it's okay if it's gear dependent, because right now FL4K is freaking hard, man. He is in a tough place with his survivability, and this build gives us a lot of survivability and a lot of damage, and that's exactly what I wanted. We are using the Bounty Hunter class mod. Bounty Hunter class mod with Rack Attack. I tried different class mods. The Bounty Hunter one is the one I like the most. You can use a Cosmic Stalker just as well. I just didn't have a really, this is the only Cosmic Stalker I had, which is pretty bad. So I've been sticking with the Bounty Hunter because it works kind of similar to Seeing Dead on Zane, and I'll explain that in a second. All of my skills and points are geared towards ricochets and what we can do with this recursion. With the recursion, we are going to get tons of ricochets everywhere, doing tons of critical hit damage. We are going to leave no trace, which is going to, when we score a critical hit, give us ammo back in our magazine. This is really important. When we reload, we don't have lifesteal. While we're reloading, we don't have lifesteal, so we want to be able to get that ammo back. We want to be able to reload quickly, and Interplanetary Stalker is going to be hitting a ton of enemies, doing a ton of damage, and getting us our stacks very quickly. Head count, whenever we score a critical hit, where we're going to get our action skill cooldown back. Our action skill cooldown is what is allowing us to proc our bonus anointments. These bonus anointments are going to allow us to ricochet with the recursion and keep up our lifesteal anointments, which are super important. Our lifesteal is really nice to have. We have some other tools to keep us alive, but those anointments are really nice. Two Fang with a recursion is ridiculous. It is going to give us way more damage. I also like using it on the Cutsman because it's going to increase our DPS with the Cutsman. With the recursion, we're just going to get even more ricochets. It doesn't work that great with the Maggie because it's already ×6 and you're only getting one more pellet, so not the biggest deal there. But with the recursion, it's nice. With the ion cannon, it's nice, and with the Cutsman, it's really nice. Next, we're going big game. This is a very hunter kill skill oriented build, so having more duration and effects is really nice to have. This +3 points is awesome. So nice into the most dangerous game because with our class mod, we're going to be able to activate this all the time. This chance to activate on a purchase when dealing gun damage is small, but with the recursion and all the enemies it's hitting, we're able to constantly keep this up, which is going to give us constant plus 50% gun damage, critical hit damage, pet damage, and handling, which is really nice to have. Free critical hit bonus, always nice. And then Megavore. Megavore is the actual kind of the glue that holds this build together. I tried going green tree. I went all the way down into power inside. I tried without Megavore, and Megavore with the recursion and all the projectiles it does just gives us so much more damage, and without it a lot of these synergies fall apart. So I really do like Megavore with this build. We are using Flock and Load for additional racks and healing, so we can heal. You cannot shoot while you're deploying your racks, so you are vulnerable here. So being able to fire them off quickly, not have extra cooldown, which is not great because we want to keep up our anointments as much as possible. So we're using the health return flax and the additional flax for more healing and faster spam of these racks, which is really, really nice. I went green tree with this. I went your typical, like all these points here, points there, points there, points there, points there, points there, and 2 points there. And I did this on the blue tree, and I found that I was more consistently getting through the takedown and slaughter shaft without going down with this blue tree. That is why I chose it. If you want to get more damage, you can go with the green tree. But for the survivability, I went with the blue tree and some of the utility that it provides for us. That was by decision, and I want you guys to be able to perform with this build. So the most consistent performing build that I found was going into the blue tree. We're going Persistent Hunter for increased gun damage and action skill cooldown duration, or action skill duration. The duration doesn't really matter, but if it's free gun damage, pet damage doesn't really matter, and this doesn't really matter. He bites. When Flak pets take damage, the pet returns some of the damage to the attacker. That works really well with Frenzy. Whenever our pet deals damage, Flak and the pet gain a stack of Frenzy. So basically, the pet is we're always going to be getting stacks of Frenzy, which is going to increase our damage up to 56%, which is really, really nice. Here we're going Who Rescued Who. When Flak's pets deal damage, Flak regenerates health. Health regeneration is really nice, and our pet is going to be doing damage a lot, so it's just free health regeneration for us. Barbaric Yop with the Great Horn Skag is going to give us bonus gun damage and damage. Super consistent and nice to have. That it is always going to happen. Now you could go pack tactics here with this last point, but I figured I need to keep my pet alive more, and when our pet is alive we get all these nice great bonuses, so I went with mutated defenses to keep the pet up. Now if you haven't fought with Flak against Wotan, the pet is basically useless. It just runs into Wotan pretty much and dies, so that's a tougher fight, and I'll explain how we do the Wotan fight for you guys, but that is the core of the build. Now we're going to go over the gear, the anointments, and some of the things that I switch out. Now I have a recursion. This is a spooling projectile recursion, shock and corrosive. Really nice to have, and you can do the recursion. You do need one gun with a lifesteal anointment. You can use a Brainstormer and switch to it and heal off of a Brainstormer if you can get one of these. You could use a recursion. If you use the recursion with a lifesteal anointment, you could basically keep out the recursion and just destroy the entire takedown with it. Once again, I do apologize that this is so gear specific, but in order for me to consistently and easily run through the takedown, this is what I found that just made this Flak build the best it could possibly be. Now with our lifesteal guns, also these lifesteal guns do plenty of damage. You don't need bonus damage. Flak does a lot of base damage. He does a lot of really, really good damage. We're creating everything like crazy. All our hunter's kill skills will be up all the time, and because of that, I really don't think we need bonus damage. The survivability is what Flak is lacking, and that's what this makes up for. It makes up a ton for our survivability. To even improve on that, we're going with a stopgap. Stopgap gives bonus radiation. You are going to be looking for, you can use any shield. I found that the stopgap is the best here. We're using one with bonus radiation and a grenade Widowmaker. Doesn't matter what grenade you use. Anything with a different element than your recursion. Your recursion doesn't need to be shock corrosive. As long as you're not matching elements on your grenade and your shield, you're going to be doing a ton of ricochets and a ton of damage. Once again, this is because the recursion spawns bonus projectiles for every different elemental damage that it's hitting with. That's why it works so great on Amara. We could do the same thing with Flak. We're using a last stand auto idol, basically to give us more invulnerability and more healing, which is really, really nice. For the actual Wotan fight, I changed it out for a Snowdrift auto idol. The Snowdrift is the most useful thing in the Wotan fight because Wotan basically floods you with damage and it's really hard to avoid, and the Snowdrift allows you to get around that arena fast and quickly and avoid a lot of damage, which is why the Snowdrift is perfect for that. The other times I'm just using a last stand auto idol. Once again, these are geared towards our survivability. Bounty Hunter is geared towards our damage and makes up for any lack of damage that we could be having. Once again, I will be dropping the save file for this build, and if you're missing out on the gear for this and you're on PC or Xbox, I really encourage you to check out our Discord and the communities there, but really get with hooking people up with all of the items from all of my builds. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have fun with this build. I honestly was getting so frustrated playing Flak and dying over and over again, and this build has made me really enjoy the character because he is a fun character. He was just lacking survivability, and now we have that. So hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you learned something new, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.